The Earth is not merely a blend of soil and mountains, but rather an extraordinary canvas crafted by time itself. In some places, rocks have been standing in balance for millions of years, while in others, entire valleys have transformed into forests of stone. These shapes sometimes appear like marks left by gods, and at other times, like mysteries from another world. Wind, water, and time have collaborated to give them such forms that anyone who sees them pauses and wonders why nature has embedded them in this way. So, let us embark on this mysterious journey and explore the most astonishing rock formations on Earth. Number 1. Lena Pillars, the rocky sentinels of Siberia. On the frozen ground of Siberia, along the banks of the flowing Lena River, when these tall, towering stones suddenly come into view, it feels as though time itself has erected them like some kind of guardian. They are called the Lena Pillars. Rising along the edges of the ice-covered river, these rock formations reach up to touch the sky from 100 to 300 meters high. From a distance, they look as if some ancient fortress of stone has been built, through whose gates you might enter another world. According to geologists, the origins of these rocks date back approximately 540 million years to the Cambrian period. At that time, the first stirrings of life on Earth were being born in the depths of the oceans. This very spot was the seabed where layers of limestone, stone, dolomite, and shells accumulated. Over millions of years, wind, ice, and the water from glaciers worked on them, gradually erecting them upright, as if some sculptor had used his chisel to carve them into pillars. In winters, when Siberia's temperature drops into the negatives and a thick blanket of snow covers everything, then these Lena Pillars appear like a frozen rocky cathedral. When the soft rays of sunlight fall upon them, it feels as though time has stood still, and this army of stones stands silently guarding hundreds of secrets. In summers, when the sun begins to set and the northern lights dance across the sky, then these rocks shimmer in golden and amber hues. The scene is so otherworldly that a person finds themselves not on Earth, but in some dream realm. But the Lena Pillars are not just a sight. They are a living book of time. Fossils of ancient marine creatures are still present within these rocks today, such creatures that swam in the waters millions of years ago and are now enclosed in layers of stone. By observing them, scientists can read those secrets of the past without which the story of life remains incomplete. This is the very reason that in 2012, UNESCO granted it the status of a World Heritage Site. Reaching here is not easy. Only after enduring the cold and arduous journey through Siberia can any traveler arrive at these stones. But whoever does reach them returns without feeling that they have descended into such depths of time where even the language of the stones can be heard. A silence that says the history of the Earth is not recorded in books but in these standing sentinels like pillars. The Lena Pillars are proof that the power of nature and the flow of time together can create such astonishing and mysterious artwork. Number 2. White Desert. Egypt's white stones world. The moment we hear the name of Egypt, images of pyramids, the Nile River, and deserts arise in our minds. But hidden in the heart of this country is another mystery, upon seeing which it feels as though you have arrived on some other planet. About 500 kilometers southwest of Cairo, spread in the midst of the Sahara, lies the White Desert, where the earth has transformed itself into white statues. This place was once the bed of an ancient sea. When the sea dried up and the water receded, then limestone and remnants of marine life were left beneath it. Over millions of years, the winds and sandstorms that raged worked their chisel on them and gradually gave them bizarre shapes. Today, when you stand here, stones are visible everywhere you look. But these are not ordinary stones. Some look like mushrooms, some like rabbits, some like chickens, and some like cabbages. As if the earth has created an entire world of toys from its imagination. In the daylight, these white rocks gleam in the sunlight, making the entire scene resemble an icy desert. As soon as the sun sets and the sky fills with pink and golden light, the color of the stones also begins to change. The white statues take on pink, orange, and golden shades. The night scene is even more magical. When the entire desert bathes in moonlight, these white statues seem as if you are not on Earth, but on the surface of the moon. This is the reason that travelers often camp here, spend the night among these mysterious rocks under the star-filled sky. The gentle rustling of the wind and the multitude of countless stars make this experience unforgettable. But the White Desert is not just something to look at. It is today a protected national park of Egypt, where nature has been preserved in its original state. The environment here teaches humans that the greatest artist on earth is nature itself, whose imagination and power surpass any human creation. Many travelers say that after the journey to the White Desert, it feels as though they have witnessed nature's purest and most imaginative art with their own eyes. This place is not merely a field of stones, but a mysterious gallery formed from the union of time and wind, where every shape tells a story. Every stone standing here proves that the true beauty of the earth is not hidden somewhere outside, but right in its own bosom. Number 3. Ha Long Bay, Vietnam's watercolor painting. Spread along the northeastern coast of Vietnam, Ha Long Bay. It feels as though some painter has used his brush to create a living painting over the ocean. Thousands of islands and limestone mountains suddenly rising from the green-blue waters appear as if scenes from some mythical tale have descended upon the earth. Those who see it often say that this place is not real but part of some dream. Here more than 1,600 islands and islets are scattered. The shapes seem formed by nature's imagination. Some look like turtles, some like a lion's head, some like a sailboat, and some like a reclining giant human. Seeing these wondrous forms, it feels as though the earth has adorned its stories in the form of stones in the lap of the sea. Geologists believe that the origins of these islands date back approximately 280 million years. Tectonic movements, ocean water, rain, and winds together gradually eroded the limestone and transformed it into these bizarre shapes. Ha Long Bay is not only a symbol of natural beauty, but also a cultural heritage. Here, archaeologists have discovered evidence of human settlements thousands of years old. In caves and islets, pottery, tools, and marks of hunting from ancient times have been found, which indicate that this place has also been a witness to human civilization. The mysterious caves and hidden lakes within the depths of these islands are no less than an exciting adventure for travelers. In the morning, when the mist slowly rises from the sea and the soft rays of the sun fall on the water, the entire Ha Long Bay gets covered in layers of golden and green hues. As travelers pass by in boats, they feel as though they are entering some mythical world. At sunset, this scene becomes even more magical. This is the reason that UNESCO has granted Ha Long Bay the status of a World Heritage Site. It is not just a place to see, but a place to feel. Every stone, every island, and every wave here tells a different story. Some call it the abode of dragons. Some call it the painting of the sea. But the truth is that this place is that miracle of the earth, where nature has touched the pinnacle of its creativity. Number 4. Al-Ula, Arabia's ancient stone city, Saudi. In the northwestern desert of Saudi Arabia, amid the scorching sun and red sand, suddenly stands a world that, upon seeing, feels like the legacy of some forgotten civilization. This is Al-Ula, a valley where nature and history have together forged a unique artwork. The most special thing here is that massive rock cliffs and the ancient ruins hidden between them together create a mysterious scene. Geologists believe that the origins of Al-Ula date back more than 500 million years. The rocks here are mainly made of sandstone, which wind and sand have gradually eroded into pillars, arches, and sky-kissing shapes. Among them, the most famous is Elephant Rock, which truly looks like a massive elephant with its head bowed and trunk touching the ground. In the silence of the desert, this stone stands like some ancient sentinel. But Al-Ula is not just a natural wonder. It is also a treasure of human history. Here, the Nabatean Empire once flourished. The same civilization that built the famous city of Petra in Jordan. In the valleys of Al-Ula, dozens of tombs and graves still exist today, which have been carved directly into the rocks. Inscriptions and pictures engraved on their walls indicate that this place must have been a center of trade and culture thousands of years ago. At that time, caravans of frankincense and spices used to pass from here, connecting the worlds of Arabia and the Mediterranean Sea. Today, Lula has become a major heritage site of Saudi Arabia. Travelers coming here can trek through the valleys of red sandstone, spend the night under the star-filled sky, and see those tombs that have been safely buried in the desert sand for thousands of years. During the day, when the sun paints these rocks in golden hues, and at night when the Milky Way appears bending over them, it feels as though this place exists in some other realm beyond time. makes us realize how nature and humans together can create such a heritage that remains just as grand and mysterious even thousands of years later. Every stone, every tomb, every inscription here tells the story that no matter how harsh the desert may be, life and culture always find their way. Number 5. Druid's Altar. Yorkshire's mysterious altar. Hidden among the green hills of Yorkshire in England is a rocky site that, the moment you see it, raises questions in the mind about whether this is the handiwork of nature or a witness to some ancient ritual. It is called the Druid's Altar. This is a group of massive sandstone rocks that are balanced on each other in such a way, as if someone has deliberately placed them in the shape of an altar. From a distance, it truly looks as though ancient rituals or sacrificial ceremonies have taken place here. The name of this place comes from local legends. People believe that Celtic priests, known as Druids, used to worship natural forces and offer sacrifices here, although no solid evidence of this has been found. But the mysterious structure of the rocks has given strength to these stories. Even today, travelers who come here feel as though this place stands frozen in time, and the echoes of bygone eras can still be heard in these stones. From a scientific perspective, these rocks are part of the approximately 300-million-year-old Millstone Grit Formation. At that time, Yorkshire was a coastal plain. Over millions of years, wind, rain, and ice have eroded these thick layers of sandstone into blocks with sharp edges. Today, these large blocks placed on each other look as if some giant has arranged them in play. To reach Druid's Altar, people often go hiking. Upon reaching the top and sitting on these massive rocks while looking at the Ira Valley spread below, it feels as though time has paused. The greenery spreading all around, the river waving below, and the blue sky above. Sitting amid all this stone tells you stories of eternity. Today, this site is an attraction for nature lovers, photographers, and travelers. But the mystery hidden within it remains unsolved. Is it merely a creation of nature? Or did Druids truly perform their rituals here? The answer to this question may never be found. But this very mystery makes this place even more special. Number 6. White Pocket, the rocky labyrinth of colors. In the desolate desert region of Arizona State in America, where red sand and silence prevail all around, suddenly appears a scene that, upon seeing, feels as though you have arrived on some other planet. This is White Pocket, the most mysterious corner of Vermilion Cliffs National Monument. Here, on the surface of the earth, waves of stone, swirling lines, and colorful patterns appear as if nature has used its brush to create some unique painting on the desert. Layers of white, red, pink, and orange colors blend into each other to form shapes that leave the mind stunned. Geologists explain that approximately 190 million years ago, this area was filled with massive sand dunes. Gradually, time compressed those dunes into Navajo sandstone. Tectonic movements and geological pressures folded, broke, and stacked these layers on each other. After that, wind, rain, and sunlight eroded the surface to reveal those hidden patterns that we see in White Pocket today. Every line and every curve is a mark of that restless history of the Earth, when the face of the planet was constantly changing. The greatest specialty of White Pocket is that reaching here is extremely difficult. No paved roads, no signs, just rugged paths on which only four-wheeled vehicles can go. Perhaps this is the reason that this place still holds on to its real and untouched beauty away from crowds of tourists. Every traveler who reaches here feels like a discoverer of some hidden treasure. Morning and evening times here are the most magical. When the sun's rays fall on these wavy rocks, every color and every shape seems to come alive. For photographers, it is no less than a dream. Somewhere the stone floor looks as if milky waves have frozen, while elsewhere orange lines shimmer like flames of fire. Standing in White Pocket, a person is compelled to think whether this is truly part of the Earth or a piece from some alien world. The swirling labyrinth-like paths of stones spreading in every direction fill you with the realization that nature's creativity has no limits. Every stone here is a story of time, and every story teaches us that the true magic of the Earth is hidden in its countless layers. Number 7. Mono Lake, California's salty lake and towers. Spread in the arid desert region of California State in America, this lake may seem ordinary at first glance. But as soon as the limestone towers rising from its surface become visible, one realizes that this place is not of some ordinary lake, but of a mysterious world. It is called Mono Lake, which is considered one of the oldest lakes in North America. Scientists believe that its birth occurred about 76,000 years ago after a massive volcanic eruption. The most astonishing identity of Mono Lake is its tufa towers. These towers formed when calcium-rich spring water rising from below the lake mixed with the carbonate-rich water of the lake. This chemical reaction deposited layers of limestone, and gradually these towers stood up. As long as the lake's water level was high, these towers remained hidden underwater. But in the 20th century, when water was diverted from the lake to supply Los Angeles, the water level dropped, and these rocky pillars emerged completely. Today, these towers up to 30 feet high look like the ruins of some submerged city. The water of Mono Lake is 3 times saltier than the sea. No fish can survive here. But small creatures like brine shrimp and alkali flies thrive even in these harsh conditions. These very small creatures become a food source for millions of migratory birds every year. The ecosystem of the lake is so unique that scientists consider it a natural laboratory. During morning and evening times, when the sunlight falls on the lake's surface and the tufa towers, the entire scene appears like some fairy tale. Sometimes these towers gleam in a golden aura, sometimes they sparkle in red and pink light. In winters, when ice forms here, it feels as though stone and water together are creating a frozen world. Mono Lake reminds us that even in the harshest environments of the Earth, life finds its way. This place is not only important from a geological perspective, but also a symbol of the will to live. When you stand here and look at the towers rising from the water, it feels as though time itself has sculpted these statues with its own hands and left them to show us that the mysteries of nature never end. Number 8. Bryce Canyon, America's natural cathedral of stones. Spread in the state of Utah in America, Bryce Canyon. At first glance, it looks like a valley. But in reality, it is not a valley, but the eroded edge of a massive plateau. Here, nature has erected thousands of rocky pillars with the help of time and weather, which are called hoodoos. From a distance, these hoodoos appear like a massive cathedral, which countless spires in red, orange, and pink colors stand. The origins of these hoodoos date back approximately 30 to 60 million years, when layers of sandstone and mud accumulated on the land here. Later, with the uplift of the Colorado Plateau, these layers rose up, and gradually the weather began to sculpt them. The most special process here is freeze-thaw erosion, meaning water enters the cracks in the rocks, then freezes and expands, breaking the stones. This process happens about 200 times every year. For millions of years, this repetition continued, and gradually these stones transformed into unique shapes. In the morning, when the first rays of the sun fall on these hoodoos, the entire Bryce Canyon sparkles with red, pink, and golden light. In winters, when snow covers the peaks of these stones, the contrast of red and white creates a wondrous scene. It feels as though a forest of stones stands on the earth, and every pillar points towards some invisible power. Bryce Canyon is unique not only during the day, but also at night. The sky here is so clear that millions of stars are visible to the naked eye. This is the reason that this place is like paradise for astronomers and stargazers. When the Milky Way shines in the darkness of the night, and the forest of stones stands silently below, it feels as though you have crossed the boundaries of time and space to arrive in some other realm. Bryce Canyon is living proof that nature's greatest sculptures are not always made by human hands, but by the chisel of wind, water, and time. Here, every hoodoo has a different shape, and every pillar tells its own story. This is the reason that every traveler who sees this place cannot forget it for life. Number 9. Brimham Rocks, England's Rocky Garden. In the peaceful valleys and greenery-surrounded landscapes of North Yorkshire in England, suddenly appears a rocky world that looks like some massive natural playground. It is called Brimham Rocks. Here, the group of rocks is so unique that every stone's shape matches different animals, objects, or figures. Some look like whales or fish, some like dancing figures, and some seem as if two hands are joining toward the sky, as if nature is giving concrete form to its imaginations in stones here. According to scientists, these rocks are part of the approximately 320-million-year-old Millstone Grit Formation. At that time, this area was covered with massive rivers and deltas. Over time, the accumulated layers of sandstone were eroded at different rates by wind, rain, and ice. In some places, the softer parts wore away more, while the harder parts remained. The result is that today, these rocks stand in bizarre shapes. Every stone appears like a sculpture in itself. But in reality, all of this is unique artwork created by nature. The mystery of Brimham rocks has ignited people's imaginations for centuries. In the 18th century, people who came here believed that all this was the work of some witch or ancient druids. Some even connected them to statues of gods, although geology gives us the precise reason. But the strange shapes of these rocks still draw people into the world of mystery and imagination today. Today, Brimham Rocks is one of the most popular tourist spots in England. This place not only offers the experience of natural beauty, but is also a center for exciting activities, climbing between the rocks, taking pictures, or simply sitting on a high stone and gazing at the valley view. Every experience here gives a different feeling. At sunset, when the light gradually spreads over the rocks, the entire scene looks like a page from a storybook in which every stone stands as a character. Brimham rocks make us realize that nature's creativity has no limits. Every stone standing here compels us to think that millions of years ago, when wind and water began working on them, did they know that they would create such a garden in the future that would keep people as imaginations alive forever? Number 10. Waweep hoodoos, Utah's rocky mushrooms. Hidden in the desolate desert regions of Utah State in America, this place looks like some alien planet at first glance. The rocks here stand in mushroom-like shapes, thin white stems below, and wide brown stone caps on top. These unique structures are called Waweep hoodoos. When anyone sees them, it becomes hard to believe that all this is not sculptures made by some artist but the play of nature. Geologists believe that the age of these hoodoos is about 160 million years. At that time, this area was filled with rivers and floodplains. Gradually, the soft sandstone that accumulated in these plains formed the lower layer, and a hard stone layer sat on top. For millions of years, wind and water eroded the soft part below, but the hard part above remained. This is the reason that today, these hoodoos stand like mushrooms, as if challenging the laws of gravity. The most special thing about Waweep hoodoos is that to reach them, travelers have to walk about 8 kilometers on foot in the desert. There are no roads here, nor any facilities. Just silence and the wondrous world of stones spreading all around. This is the reason that this place still holds on to its real and mysterious beauty away from crowds. In the daylight, these hoodoos gleam in the contrast of bright white and brown colors. As evening falls and the sun's golden rays fall on them, the entire scene looks like some magical painting. The view at night becomes even more astonishing. Standing under the star-filled sky, these rocky mushrooms seem as if they are witnessing some other era. Waweep hoodoos teach us that nature possesses both patience and power. For millions of years, it has sculpted the stones in its own way and given them a form beyond human imagination. This place is proof that mysteries still exist on Earth that are not easy to understand. Number 11. Goblin Valley, the Valley of Stone Goblins. Hidden in the desert expanse of Utah, this valley looks like some fairy tale or science fiction movie set. Tucked across the vast land, thousands of small and large stone shapes stand visible, which appear like goblins, meaning mythical rocky creatures. This is the reason this place is called Goblin Valley. Every stone standing here has a different shape. Some look like human faces, some like the body of some creature, and some like mysterious statues. It feels as though an army of stones stands silently on the orders of some invisible power and awaits the next chapter of time. Geologists believe that the origins of Goblin Valley date back approximately 170 million years. At that time, this area was part of a massive sea and coastal plain. The ocean water deposited thick layers of sandstone here, known as entrada sandstone. Gradually, rain, wind, and mild acidic moisture worked on them, and over millions of years, the soft parts eroded while the hard parts remained. This is the reason that today, these small rounded hoodoos have formed, standing with a capstone on their heads. The most astonishing thing about Goblin Valley is that no two goblins are alike. Every stone has its own form and unique identity. In some, you will see a laughing face. In some, a serious expression, and in some, a scary figure. This is the reason that people who come here often name them from their imaginations and view them as living characters. This place has been a source of inspiration not only for scientists, but also for artists and filmmakers. The shooting of the famous Hollywood movie Galaxy Quest also happened here because this area appears like some other planet. But in reality, it is the artistry of the Earth itself, where nature has turned every stone into a character with its chisel. The greatest attraction of Goblin Valley is that travelers coming here are allowed to wander between the stones and touch them up close. It is not like some national park with restrictions and strict rules, but an open natural playground. Children and adults alike enjoy wandering among the stones here, recognizing their shapes and playing with them. However, care is taken that no one damages the rocks because it took millions of years to form them and just a moment to ruin them. At sunset, when the golden light falls on these goblins, the entire scene becomes even more mysterious. The play of shadows and light makes them seem even more alive. In that moment, it feels as though these stones will truly awaken and start strolling in the desert. This place makes us realize that nature is not only serious and grand, but also playful and fun-loving. Goblin Valley is proof that mysteries and beauty exist on Earth in countless forms. Every stone here takes you to that boundary between imagination and reality, where both become one. This is the reason that no traveler who sees this valley ever forgets it for life. Number 12. Three Sisters. The legend of Australia's Blue Mountains. Amid the deep valleys and mist-covered forests of the Blue Mountains in Australia, suddenly stand three tall sandstone rocks that the entire world knows by the name of Three Sisters. These three pillars stand like ancient sentinels, whose height ranges from 300 to 900 meters above sea level. From a distance, these rocks look as though truly three sisters are standing close to each other, guarding the valley and the forest. According to the beliefs of the local Gundungurra Aboriginal tribe, behind these rocks lies an extremely poignant tale. It is said that a long time ago, three beautiful sisters lived in this area. One day, to save them during some conflict, an elder used magic and turned them into stone. But unfortunately, that elder died before he could reverse the magic. Since then, these three sisters have stood there in the form of stone statues and will always stand. This tale is still alive in the hearts of the local people and connects tourists to the mystery and attraction of this place. From a geological perspective, the Three Sisters are made of Blue Mountain sandstone, whose age is considered about 200 million years. At that time, this area was part of the sea, and the gradually accumulated layers of sandstone have today transformed into these tall pillars. Rain, wind, and rivers have eroded and removed the surrounding rocks. But these hard pillars survived and still stand firmly today. Today, the Three Sisters have become the identity of Australia. Every year, millions of travelers come to see them. The most famous viewpoint here is Echo Point, from where the entire valley and these three pillars are clearly visible. In addition, trekking paths, cable cars, and skyways have been built here, from which travelers enjoy this wondrous scene from different angles. In the morning, when mist floats between these pillars, it feels as though this is truly part of some mythical world. At sunset, the golden light falling on them makes them even more grand. At night, when the star-filled sky shines above them, it seems as though these three souls still stand as sentinels on this earth. The Three Sisters make us realize that every rock hides not only geography, but also culture and stories. This place is such a confluence of nature and human emotions, where stones do not remain mere stones but become symbols of immortal tales. That's all for today's video. You've seen how rocks on Earth have molded themselves into astonishing and mysterious shapes. Somewhere they stand as sentinels witnessing time, somewhere they stand like mushrooms challenging gravity, while somewhere they create pictures more beautiful than imagination between seas and shade. Deserts. These rock formations remind us that nature is the greatest artist in whose every creation a story is hidden. Friends, if you liked this mysterious journey, then be sure to like and share the video. And if you are watching this video, please subscribe our channel, the channel name, so that we can introduce you to even more unsolved and miraculous mysteries of the world. See you in the next video with a new mysterious story.